learning every build Tejana style. Alright, welcome back to Jack of all trades, master of none. This is your host Tejana style. Don't hold it against me. We're going to be bondoing the holes where the forward plate goes on the back of this tailgate. So we're going to be removing this plate. We've cut some mesh and we're going to be putting that in the back end so we can bondo it, and then we're going to sand it and paint it down so that there's no holes, because we won't be replacing the Ford logo. So let's get this build started. So these are the holes that we're going to be fixing right here. So these 6 big holes right here, and then we got 2 small ones on the outer edge on each side. So we pop that plate off so we can get to them, put the mesh on the back, and we can start the process of Bondo it. Alright, so I'm going to explain the process because I didn't know anything about how to do Bondo work. So my neighbor came over, that's who was in the video that you saw. And we have to mix it to fiberglass Bondo, and then it has another mixer in it to make it stick. So you saw previously, and I know it was real fast, we took some cardboard pieces, poked a hole in it where we could get a piece of wire in it, and then we super glued the cardboard pieces to the back of the hole just so it would have a base to stick to. And then we put the Bondo. So once it dries, you start sanding it. This is, to me, since I know how to float and tape sheetrock, it's a lot like that to me. You got to put it on, sand it off. Put some more on if you need to, and sand it off. So you use this sandpaper, which is not a fine sandpaper, so that's what we're going to sand it with first. And then once you do that, then you come back with the fine grit sandpaper to get it real smooth and even. And you also saw in one of the quick clips that we prepped these holes over here with tape, so it didn't do a whole lot of this right here. And I don't know if I can get you close to see that. On the paint, but we'll be primering it and then painting it again. So I'm going to try to finish these up and sand them up and then get them ready for some primer, so then we can paint them, and then there won't be any holes and you won't notice anything on this wonderful tailgate. So let's go to sanding and prep this up. Alright, so you want it where it's smooth and across, just like you would, like I said, like sheetrock when you mud and tape. I think it all looks pretty good. Don't need to be refilled again. So just remember, we put a backing of cardboard on it, glued it to that, super glued it actually, and then started filling it with the Bondo. So once you get on there and it dries, you take a coarse sandpaper and sand it. You see where all this metal is showing? That's what my buddy was trying not to do with the tape, but since it's my first time, I'm learning. So I just took the tape off so I could see exactly where the hole was so I could sand. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it'd be all right. I'm going to get some what they call filler primer. It's supposed to fill the imperfections if you have any, and primer this up, and then we'll repaint it But back to the sanding. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Squirrel, squirrel. Once you do it with the coarse, then you want to go back with the fine sandpaper, and that's what makes it smooth. And you should be able to run your hand across and it just feel like it's the whole truck, which it does now. Of course, then I sprayed it off with the air nozzle and then wiped it down. So next step will be to get the filler primer, prime up these spots, and then get the paint and repaint it, and we should be good to go. So that's our next step, and that's what we'll be doing next, is the primer. Alright, so we originally took this cover off the inside of the tailgate because we thought we could get to the holes from there, but we can't, or we couldn't, should I say. So while I have it on, I'm going to show you real quick. The handle to get the tailgate to open is a little dirty and rusted. And so while I have it off, I'm going to blow it off, and then I'm going to put some PV Blaster on it. Then I'm going to put this back on, and then we'll get on with the painting of the tailgate. So not a lost cause or a very big mistake that we took this off, because taking it off I was able to clean the handle gears and stuff and spray it with some PV Blaster so that it would work a little bit better. So we'll just continue on with the rest. So it looks like the little lever right here flipped. I just had to open it up and flip it back so that it'll close. And gonna wipe that off since I got some PV Blaster on it. But it works a little better, so not a lost cause. We'll continue with this build.